Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Notre Dame fans, whenever you are watching or listening this week's Notre Dame football show. Appreciate you for making us a part of your day, watching back, watching live, listening via podcast, whatever the case may be. Again, thank you very much. I am Mike Singer. I am our recruiting insider at blueandgold.com and run our YouTube operation. And the handsome fella on the screen next to me is in the boat, and that's Tim Hyde in the boathouse, our resident former football coach in Southern California, high school level, junior college level, and former Marine.
Mike, you're all over the place here. Here we go. I like it.
I'm popping.
Like
Yeah.
Hold on. I got the moon. I just opened the moon pop up there. So here we go. Now I got some light in here. Bright moon.
Tim, how's your evening, my friend?
Are you kidding me? Everything's awesome.
Nice.
This is like the Lego movie part 1. Everything's awesome. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. It's the craziest weekend in college football that I've seen in ages. Was unbelievable. Can we have more buys so we could just lay our butts on the couch, eat nachos,
and just move up, right?
Drink adult sodas, and just enjoy football.
Adult sodas.
No stress from Notre Dame playing Max. Academies coming up, which are going to be insane. Yeah, it was nice watching. No stress. And then, speaking of that, and then you get Notre Dame in the news. We got Club Rudy, Project Rudy, something like that's happening. We got Swarbrick back in the news. It's insane what's going on with college football, but it's exciting. We got commits, flip season. Notre Dame's flipping guys. Notre Dame's been flipped. So it's been a hell of a 10 days since I last saw you, Mike. How's that?
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot. Yeah,
it's been enjoyable.
So, man, yeah, there's been so much. We're not talking Deuce Knight tonight. We're not even talking really Antavius Richardson and other recruiting stuff.
It's all wild.
But, yeah, we are going to talk about that weekend because it's like best bye week for Notre Dame. I mean, down goes Bama, Tennessee. So Bama loses to Vanderbilt, Tennessee to Arkansas. It's like, what? Missouri gets trashed by Texas A&M in the same place Notre Dame beat A&M. Michigan goes down, shocker. And USC goes down. So it's like USC, that's 2 losses for them, right?
Yeah.
They're out. I mean, they're very likely they're out of the playoff contention. Michigan, same deal. It's like you get a boost for Notre Dame's schedule with A&M getting a big win over Missouri, and then you get USC kind of goes down, but then Army and Navy, Tim, service academies are just cruising. How about that?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, it's cool to see the academies. That's not I know everyone's like worried and nervous. It's like, hey, if Notre, I don't even want to say it. If Marcus Freeman and his coaches cannot beat Army and Navy, get the resumes ready. I don't want to hear it. Seriously, I don't want to hear, oh my God, we got to get ready for Navy. Exactly. You got to get ready for Navy. They're going to play their butts off. So is Army, all that good hooting and hollering. Just, I mean, for crying out loud. You were number 5 a couple of weeks ago. Will you go win the damn game? But that will be the ultimate Notre Dame under Freeman if you lose to one of the academies. So the odds of that happening, Mike, are probably 50-50, correct? Like you said at the end of Goolsby's show, someone posted the odds, 11-1 or 9-3. Come on, that's the easiest one, and that's the easiest question to answer.
9-3?
Of course. Of course, of that being the most likely scenario after the first 2 years of what we've seen and what we've seen the beginning of this year. 11-1, hell, we'll take it. Don't get me wrong. Those were the expectations when you're year 3 and half your roster is 5th and 6th year seniors and tons of NFL potential. Exactly. That's the expectation. But Mike, I guess I'm numb still, especially after this damn weekend. It's like, who knows what's going to happen? Nothing can be shocking. Dude, I watched the last I flipped it on right before halftime. I was like, this can't be real.
Right.
Like every damn fan in America. Oh, it's Alabama. They're going to go win by
I sprinkled some cash on Alabama money line, just like you all did.
Oh,
I mean, of
they're
course.
going to come back and win by 38. Instead, that's up there.
Okay.
With Appalachian State, Michigan. I'm not even going to get into Notre Dame horrific losses. We've seen plenty of those in the last 15 years. But
I still think from like my standpoint of the optics, like, yes, Vanderbilt's a better team than Northern Illinois, so like losing to Northern Illinois on your home turf is worse than the Vanderbilt loss.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Alabama just lost to Vanderbilt. That just doesn't happen. Notre Dame has lost to group of 5 teams. They have.
Yes.
But Bama doesn't lose to Vanderbilt, especially after Nick Saban, the freaking GOAT, trashed playing at Vanderbilt.
Dude, there is nothing better. I mean, social media is as good as there is. And the instant that clock hit zeros, they put that up on the big board, the Saban with Pat McAfee, saying, hell, you can win any, SEC stuff except for Vanderbilt. Bam, put that up on the board right away. And that is the greatest troll of all time from Saban. But I mean, hell, I don't know if we're jumping into this right now, but that is, I know it's a Notre Dame show, but we'll talk college football.
Yeah.
For me, that's up there. I'm telling you, with Appy State, when they beat Michigan, is still an all-timer. It's like, are you serious?
That just didn't happen, really.
No, because that was the 1AA, especially Michigan. You saw, you would see a 1AA beat Iowa State or Missouri. Sorry, Jack Sobel, if you're listening. I don't know if Missouri lost, but they probably did, knowing their program. But you would see things like that. Not Alabama. Dude. The blue chip ratio we talk about all offseason, they're 90%. There's no way in hell Vanderbilt's at 12. Okay, so it's like, it is maddening. It really is, and it's just one of those things. It has nothing to do with NIL portal. Of course, they got a portal quarterback, but it's just it's human nature. It's players. It's mindset. We saw it obviously Notre Dame with NIU and whatchamacallit with the A&M. You just you're mentally gone, and then Alabama literally took them lightly, and Vanderbilt played out of their minds. Spatty, our favorite guy, Spatty ND on the Blue and Gold message board, posted some of the all-time stats of Vanderbilt versus Alabama. He posted something like the first time in 90 years Vanderbilt scored 30 plus or whatever they scored against Alabama. That's insane. It's just insane. So that is just blown everything up, because I've always felt, with the playoffs and where we're going, obviously 0 losses, you're in. If you're a 1-loss Power 4, you're in automatically. That's easy. Now you get the 2 losses, Mike, dude, you throw your butt up on the whiteboard and the committee's playing with you. Your hands are in the committee once you get to 2. And, we always heard all the offseason people complaining about the playoffs. Oh, it's going to damper the regular season. I've always been the opposite. I think there's so many damn games that are going to matter more than ever. And we're seeing one this week. Ole Miss gets upset. LSU obviously lost to SC. The loser, as soon as you get 2 losses, man, you're still alive. Like you mentioned, SC, Michigan, they're alive. You got to win out. What's the odds of that? It ain't happening. But if they win out, if both of those won out, they're 10-2 Power 4 conferences. They're in. But
maybe. It just depends on how many there are. It just depends on how many other 10-2s there are.
That's the thing. As we know, these guys are just going to eat each other up, man. They're just going to devour each other in some of these conferences. So long story short, before we jump in, we're all over the map after taking a week off, which felt like a month. It was nice. Notre Dame's alive and well, man. They are. And they're right back to where they were. 11-1, you're at home. It's 11-1 gets you a home game in the playoffs. And you're right back to where everybody expected this program to be.
11-1, you probably do host if these teams continue to. Well, you gotta have some more stub your toe a little bit. But it does always help when that loss comes early, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But Notre Dame does need some, like Texas A&M, I think needs to keep doing well. Talk about this a lot on the show. The committee really values those quality wins. Like they will overlook a loss or two if you have. So like at Texas A&M runs the table, right? USC bounces back. You beat USC. You have a win against A&M. I think they'll overlook NIU, and you could.
Oh, without a
You
doubt.
could host. Maybe it's an 8. Maybe it's a 7. But you could host. So
See, I've started to look at some of these schedules these teams play.
So they're like, so this guy just said, what if Oregon upsets Ohio State? So there's a loss between Ohio State and Oregon. They're just gonna
exactly, but that's the thing. There's still some people on the blue and gold message board that still don't think 2-loss teams. There's half of the playoffs are going to be 2-loss teams, probably more. I truly feel. I don't think we're going to have a lot of 1-loss. I think, me personally, I think the only team that could go undefeated is Ohio State. Ohio State beats Oregon, they're going undefeated. They're not losing. They're loaded. I know people hate the Buckeyes. Buckeyes are stacked times 10. They win in Eugene. They'll be 12-0 going into the Big 10 title game.
And I did this. I played this video in a call-in show here at Blue and Gold a week or two ago. It was at Ari Wasserman. It was on the Andy Staples show with Ari Wasserman. I can't remember which one it was, but they were like, "This is what you asked for."
Yes.
At the end of this, it's like,
yes.
Yeah, it's like, this is what you wanted. You wanted Notre Dame to be able to lose and then still make it. Like, they're going to be 2-loss teams potentially playing for national championship. Like, this is just it. The college football, though, that I grew up knowing and loving. Maybe this is just me yelling at clouds and kids, touching my lawn, but I miss it. I miss it too. Well, this is fun. It's fun, but I miss what college football was when I was growing up in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, as one of the old farts here, it's like, yeah, I mean, it was fun. You play your regular season, you play your games, you go to the Orange Bowl Fiesta, whatever it is, and roll from there. I don't know, man. Maybe I've been in playoffs coaching and stuff. There's nothing like being in a playoff. So this is exciting. It's exciting as could be. It's fun. So many games matter, especially once you lose. Like Alabama and Tennessee are going to play in 2 weeks. At 10, I think it's at Rocky Top. So that is going to be an elimination game, more than like elimination, meaning as soon as you get the 2 losses, you just go in the pool of 2-loss teams.
Yeah.
And we're going to just rotate you and see how you seed there. But so many of these teams play each other. Like Texas has had it pretty easy. Now they're going to start rolling. They have Georgia next week. Mm-hmm. So you got Georgia with a loss. If they lose to Texas, boom, now they're on the committee's whiteboard to check out. So there's going to be only a few teams that realistically, when you look at these schedules, could really only have 1 loss. And then we haven't even talked about the Big 12. The Big 12, you got 4 teams basically in the top 15 that are all going to beat the hell out of each other, because only 2 of those are going to get to the Big 12 title game. And the third place team is not making the playoff. They're just not with the resumes that they have. So it's a battle to get to the final 2. And then for me, Clemson, man, who would have thought that the way they couldn't even get past midfield against Georgia, they have a legitimate shot of just going 1 loss into the ACC title game to go play probably, I think, Miami. I looked at Miami's schedule. I think Louisville plays both. If you pull it up real quick, I think Louisville plays both Miami and Clemson, so they could be a spoiler, And then speaking of the ACC, I know some people don't like the schedule. I'm actually pretty excited about SMU. I mean, you want to talk about old school? That's bringing back the old days there. So I'm actually looking forward to when Notre Dame. Hell, who knows what's going to happen in 3 years, right? Whenever they get to go play at SMU, that place is going to be awesome. That's going to be a fun ball game.
Louisville hosting Miami October 19th and goes to Louisville. Yeah, they go to Clemson November.
Okay. So they do play both. Okay, they still play both. Yeah, I mean, look at Louisville real quick. Hell, They played Notre Dame toe-to-toe for 4 quarters, get SMU at home and lose. So with all the hype and being ranked, and now they're obviously out of that. So it's fun. For me, it's exciting.
It is.
There's so many good football games ahead, and it's the pressure cooker is like so damn real now. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. My point about the good old days is just really about college football as a whole. Now, if you would have told, sixth grade Michael, you can get the college football playoff and 12 teams, I would have jumped all over it. But just you're gonna tell me that college football is the same?
See, man, I mean, you're the young.
I love bowl season. I loved bowl season. It was amazing.
The bowl season is, that's the thing. Bowl season's still here.
It sucks. It sucks.
What do you mean? It's the quarterfinals of the playoffs now. How's that suck? It's the quarterfinals.
No. I like the playoff, but it's a lot fewer games that I'm interested in when I was interested in every single game growing up.
I guess it's still here. We still play. I mean,
It's fine. It's fine. It's more than just the playoff. It's NIL. It's portal. It's just lost a lot of pageantry. That's fine. You can be the opposite.
See, I'm the opposite because I've been around guys that have played college football. I've coached kids that are in the old NCAA football game. So I've been around the system. I look at it, and I've talked about this before with you on our show. So many damn people have made money. Mike, this industry that you're in is making money on teenagers. It's like the entire industry is about money, money, money. Everyone gets it, but those kids. Now they get it, and now college football's bad. But everyone's making money on them. On them. ADs, hold on. ADs are making $8-10 million. Athletic directors are making $8-10 million a year now. Athletic directors on what? Trying to find giant ways to stuck all this money in. So you got everybody's making money, but the kids can't make money. I'm sorry.
There is a difference between the kids making money in NIL the way the NIL was intended to it being what it is.
See, I'm just the opposite because I've seen recruiting, I've seen the internet, I've seen everything. Is so many people, especially at these universities, have sucked money out of the system for decades upon decades.
I'm fine with it going to the kids, but not it for pay for play recruiting and just the things I hear, Tim.
You could hear, you could read. They're all. But see, once again, I'm the old way, or Mike. It's been around forever. Now it's just up front. Before you'd get it in a McDonald's bag sitting on your.
I don't like that either.
But it's always been around. Paying players has been around since the age of man. It's always been there.
Tim, we got to go to an ad.
Huh?
We got to go to an ad. 10 seconds.
Go.
All right, folks. We are going to hear from Barb Stevenson. Folks, if you are looking for the perfect holiday gift for the Notre Dame fan in your life, or even better yet, yourself, Barb Stevenson Art is your premier destination for stunning pen and ink limited edition prints of the University of Notre Dame. South Bend's own award-winning artist, Barb Stevenson, skillfully captures the essence and beauty of Notre Dame's campus through her intricate pen and ink prints, which she meticulously enhances with hand-painted metallic gold accents, making each print unique and one of a kind. It is a miracle I get through this ad. I just feel like there's so many tongue twisters in that last sentence there, but I got through it like a champ. Folks, explore her fabulous selection of prints to discover the perfect piece that resonates with your love for Notre Dame. All right, we got 4 pieces to look at, which you've been seeing on the screen for folks watching on YouTube, is the iconic trio with 3 of the most beloved buildings on campus, the Basilica, the Golden Dome, and Touchdown Jesus. Number 2, you got the Grotto, depicts one of the most quiet and serene places on campus, very popular spot for prayer and meditation, as well as weddings, proposals, and visitors on football weekends. Definitely a visitor right here every time I go to Notre Dame. Got to stop at the Grotto. Number 3 here, you got the Golden Dome, which is a world famous landmark and the most recognizable symbol of the university. And then another shot of it here in our 4th print. You have the shining view of the Golden Dome, another beautiful view of it. So folks, to purchase or view any other Barb Stevenson Notre Dame prints, visit her website, barbstevenson.com, or give her a call, 574-210-8388. Order now for the holidays and receive free shipping anywhere in the continental United States. Order today, barbstevenson.com. That's BARBSTEPHENSON, barbstevenson.com. Again, 574-210-8388. All right, Tim, any other thoughts on that discussion before we move on?
No, because I'll just go down the. I could talk for hours. It's.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
fine
with your take. I'm fine with your take. It's just I just disagree.
No, exactly.
Singer is a noob, Brian. Don't disrespect your guy. Come on, Brian.
And I saw someone says scholarship.
You're in timeout, Brian. I put you in timeout like a 5-year-old for that comment. There you go.
I saw when scholarship is being paid. Well, the English student who gets a full ride, they're allowed to go work and to go earn money. This is the whole adage of so much things the players could not do for ages. And then the TV, last 30 seconds. Why is college football so damn popular? It's because of the players. Why is there billions of dollars at television that are being trickled down to all these schools? Because of the players. They are the item everyone wants to watch. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's gonna get crazy, but that's just college football. Have fun with it.
Week 7 college football playoff bracketology via Andy Staples. Talk about this all the time, but I feel like I have to indoctrinate you all by what's up, Tim?
No, you're right. You have to constantly.
We have to train your brain.
Yes.
The 4 highest ranked conference champs get the bye. There could be 2 group of 5s who get by. You could have the MAC champ and the Sun Belt champ.
1 and 2.
Be 1 and 2. It is the 4 highest ranked in the college football playoff rankings conference champs. It's not the Power 4 champs. It usually will be the Power 4 champs, but it could be a group of 5 team gets a bye. It could be. So there was some numbnuts. I talked about this the other day. It was like, why is BYU getting a bye? What the hell? What drunk guy made this? Why is BYU number 4? Like, no, because if they're projected to be the Big 12 champ, then they're most likely going to get a first round bye. Unless Navy ends up ranked higher or Boise State or whatever. So this is like bracketology as of today, right? This is not like at the end of the year. It's like, if the college football playoffs played today based on like the AP poll or whatever, this would be. So Ohio State, Texas, Clemson, BYU. There's your first round buys, seeded 1 through 4 respectively. Bama, Georgia rematch, 8-9. Would love that. Winner plays Ohio State. That's just a couple heavyweights there. Miami, 7, Notre Dame, 10. Winner play Texas. Inject that into my veins.
In a bowl game, mind you, Mike, probably the Cotton Bowl. So there you go.
Penn State and Texas A&M. Winner plays Clemson. Not as excited about the bottom part of the bracket here. And then Oregon and Navy to play BYU. So this whole thing about Notre Dame not being able to get a first round bye, but if they are incredible, they get the number 5 seed, and then you play the 12, right? And then you play the 4, which is, it works out really well for Notre Dame, which we've talked about many, many times. We'll see if Notre Dame gets the 5. I doubt it. I think if Notre Dame wins out, they'll be in the 7 to 10 range would be my guess. But thoughts on the bracketology, Tim?
No, I love it. I mean, I do. I always enjoy these things. They're fun. I know we're always going to have, well, who cares? Exactly. Who cares? It's just a snapshot, like you said, Mike, this week with all the games that have been played. It's fun to see who's who. I always go right away to the conferences. You got 4 right off the bat from the SEC, 2 from the ACC, which I think is going to happen now. I think Miami is probably going to win out.
What about FSU? FSU could still make the playoff.
Yeah. Oh my God. What happened to those
what
guys?
A dumpster fire.
Miami Clemson. I'm of the opinion, the more I look at this too, like with the ACCs, if you go into a conference championship game with only 1 loss, I don't think the conference championship game is going to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like, let's say Miami and Clemson are both in there at 11-1. I think they're both in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think a second loss from Clemson or Miami is going to knock them out. I don't. I think if you lose in the conference championship game and you got only 2 losses, you're in the playoffs.
That goes to the point about quality wins.
Yes.
Right. They're not going to,
I don't think
I'm just using Notre Dame as an example because I know their schedule better than anyone else, but like a super quality like SEC team with 2 losses that has beaten really good opponents, would they get over a 1-loss Notre Dame team for a seeding, whether it's like the 9 versus the 10 or whatever? I feel like they might give it to the SEC.
This year, going back to this year, they might, in that Notre Dame plays 2 academies, 2 MACs, and only 8 power conference games. That could be one of those scenarios when you have, who was it? Someone posted today. Was it LSU? It wasn't LSU, but maybe it was Alabama or Georgia. I mean, they're going to have 10. No, excuse me. It's Clemson. Clemson is playing 10 power 4 games. Because someone said, well, they're playing the Citadel. Exactly. And 10 power conference games, 2 SEC and 8 in the ACC. It's 10. And you play a championship game, 11. So 11 conference, 11 games versus Notre Dame's 8. Teams like that with 2 losses, they're in.
Yeah.
They're going to be in. And go ahead.
No. Sorry, I was going to be changing the conversation. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, I mean, this is teams that go into a conference championship game. Like I said, the ACC with only 1 loss. I don't think the loser is going to get knocked out. It's going to be, it's like the Big 12. If both those teams have, or 10-2, the loser at 10-3 probably won't get in. That's when you get to the scenario of only 1 conference getting 1 in the playoffs. So I think the ACC is going to have 2 in this year.
I got 3 quick things. 1, Greg, talk about counting your chickens. Listen. We can do whatever the hell we want. If Marcus Freeman was in press conferences talking about playoff bracketology, that would be the worst thing ever. But listen, we don't play for the team. We don't work for the university. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about, Greg.
Yeah,
that's how the world works.
Playing, looking at schedules, playing this whole thing out. Is there going to be upsets? Hell yeah.
What are we going to talk about?
College football is based on upsets. Half of Saban's championships were based on teams losing that gave him a second chance. So, I mean, even Urban Meyer won a national title getting a second chance. Florida and Ohio State. So, yeah, upsets are going to happen to allow teams to get in.
This comment about NIT for football, I 1,000,000,000% agree. I think they've talked about doing it with the group of 5.
We have that. It's called the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the El Paso Sun Bowl.
What tournaments? We want tournaments.
One of our favorite fans. Those are the games.
I would like an NIT. I think that would be awesome.
No.
I think that would be awesome. No. Yes.
No, because your Notre Dame doesn't make it. I don't want them going to the NIT and losing to
too bad. I think it would be awesome. Anyways, you can always decline your invitation. Here's one more for all the folks talking about Indiana. There's Indiana on Ari Wasserman's. He's got Indiana at the 11. He's got Notre Dame in the first 4 out.
Yeah.
So there's the
he has UNLV in, so
he's got UNLV as the. I don't know if this is more of like a projection or what.
This is his pick as of now. Like he has Texas winning the big, or Texas now. You got Georgia's the number 5. There's the 2 ACC teams that I think is going to happen. You got he's got 2 Big 12s. So he's got 1, 2.
Got Iowa State and BYU. Yeah,
He's only got
interesting.
3. He's only got 3 SEC teams, so that's wild right there. I still think they're gonna get 4. They are. There's gonna be
Iowa State. I guess that would be Iowa State going undefeated. So if Iowa State goes undefeated, then I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Iowa State could be 11-1, losing the championship game.
Oh yeah, they would have to, right?
With that second loss. I'm telling you, the Big 12 is going. But like these guys haven't really played each other yet. They're all lining up in the next like 5 weeks to knock the hell out of each other. It's going to be wild.
So is it? We talked about this the other week. There's no more divisions except for like the Sun Belt, right? So every conference championship is just the two
best teams.
2 best teams according to conference record, and then whatever tiebreakers.
Yes, like Oregon. So you got Oregon, Ohio State. We could easily see them in the Big 10 championship game.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that's even though you could say this game really doesn't matter because they could play again down the road. To me, it matters because it's all about seeding now. So you want one of those, obviously, those top 4 or 5 seeds. You don't want to be.
You want to host. You want to host.
Exactly. You don't want to be on that committee's whiteboard, as I'm going to keep calling it. Like, let's look at strength of record. Let's look at power control and all these analytics these guys use and all that stuff. So
see, now I like you, Greg. I like you now, Greg.
What did you say?
They need to have a P4 tourney and then a Group 5 tourney. See, but the Group 5 still needs to get to the Power 4. But
I mean, we may have that if we're doing the Rudy Project. So it may.
How about the Rudy Project being named after Notre Dame's Rudy? I mean,
Jack Swarbrick's in there, man. He wants to collect some of that cash and be a part of this thing. So easy payday.
Tim, let's go through some injuries. And folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to our channel for more content if you have not done so yet. Here's the guy. We're just going to go through the injury report for the Stanford game. Questionable. Tight end Cooper Flanagan. Gabriel Rubio potentially making his season debut. And then Billy Schrauth questionable for the Stanford game. What are your thoughts on these guys?
Yeah, I mean, you got the ankle injuries with Billy and Cooper, and it seems like we've been talking about Gabriel Rubio for like 6 months. Like, is he just going to take a red shirt and not play, or it's like, what is he? His injury. I have no idea. It's we should get Rubio back. It's like, my God, we played 5 games. We're going into game 6. He ain't going to play. How healthy is he going to be down the road?
Does he bump Heinisch? Like, I don't know.
I know, exactly. And and he's always been a backup anyway. So it's not like he's ever been a fringe starter for Notre Dame. He's been a backup every game he's ever played. So curious to see what his mindset is moving forward. Does he do a Jacob Lacey, and I mean, maybe hell, who knows nowadays with all these things. I saw an Alabama guy did that yesterday or today. Got his 4 games in. I'm out, and he's like,
it's happening a lot.
Yeah. The rules are going to change. I mean, they're going to change this thing pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what we need in college football. More.
Well, there's already 1,000 of them. There are already 1,000 of them.
Well, I'm telling you, Tim, this is the kind of stuff that I don't like. Going back to that whole.
So you like the days where if you play one snap. God, who was it? There was a Notre Dame great football player in the 80s. Played 1 snap, burned his year. 1 snap.
I did not say it was perfect. I'm saying it was perfect.
I hear you.
Anything else on these guys, Tim, before we go to probable?
No, get healthy. They need especially they need Cooper.
Yeah.
I believe, tight end. Need him.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see Schrauth.
That must
be a nice boost.
Bad ankle sprain. So
yeah.
And then on the probable list, Christian Gray, after being held out against Louisville, which he tried to go pregame, but you figured after the bye week he'd be good to go. Josh Burnham has been a fringe guy to play recently.
Yep.
And he did, 4 snaps against Louisville. You expect him to be back and good. And then Jordan Faison, this is good after he went down against Louisville. It's good to have the shifty 2-sport athlete most likely back in the lineup.
Yeah, Faison is. I mean, I've been talking about this lately. Who's the outside? Who's the field side receiver? It's nobody right now. So they kind of need Faison. Faison's the only guy in this room. I hate to say the word only, but after the games we've played, he got hurt shifty, and making moves on guys and getting tackled. He's the only guy with any jitter. You just boom, little shake you out and move. Everyone else catches it and gets tackled. So he's got some wiggle to him, and they definitely need phase on him. Burnham, he played last week. He probably got a lot of rest in the room and getting back. They need him just on the depth, because I wouldn't be surprised if we see him playing some Viper to him and Tulialamaka, so they don't have to, play Logan Thomas so much over there as a young guy. Now you got Bryce Young and Oben rotating on the field side, so kind of makes Logan Thomas the fifth guy, which would probably be better suited for right now.
Boubacar Traore, that one just did not look good. I just put major knee injury here. It's being called a left knee injury by Notre Dame, but he's going to be out for a long time. I'll just leave it at that. He's going to be out for a long time. I would be stunned to see him for spring ball next year. He could be a guy who, I know the medical advances are to overcome some of these knee injuries, but I'm not a doc. I don't know, but I would be stunned to see him spring ball. So maybe it's an August camp or something like that. But yeah, Boubacar Traore, Tim. This one really sucks, because he was emerging as a star on this defense.
Well, he's the true. Oh my God, where's the stats, Tim? Oh, hold on, Tim. Here we go. Look at it.
Okay.
No, look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense is good as hell. Don't get me wrong. They're 105th in the country in tackles for loss. 105th. That's not good. That's not a lack. Defensive line causing havoc or linebackers filling and getting TFLs in the backfield. Obviously, they're 34th in sacks, but havoc is tackles for losses. Sacks come, as we know, quarterbacks get rid of that ball quicker than ever. So I like to look at TFLs, 105th. So you lose Traore, who is the one dude that could fly off the edge. Now that's a killer, and he's probably not going to be back till camp. Hopefully, he's going to be Mitch Evans next year. They're going to take their time, and hopefully we see him back playing full speed by October of next season. So he's a stud. He's the young, athletic guy that was just going to come into his own. We saw it before he got hurt for that game and a half, 2 games, however long it was full time. So, yeah, this is a killer. I mean, they got the injuries this year is just insane. So they're starting to pile up, and these young guys got to come in and play their tails off and help Notre Dame get into this playoff.
And in the good news category, Sam Pendleton's full go, because he came out a little bit late in that Louisville game. So good news here. And then the note, CJ Carr was not even listed on the injury report, but Freeman mentioned him having a minor injury in practice. But it's like a 4th-string quarterback. But yeah, so can't really give a designation for his availability because it would be a disaster if Notre Dame needed to play their 4th-string quarterback. But
exactly.
Just worth a mention. He was dinged up or something.
I heard about that in Pendleton, which, by the way, Sullivan Absher went in there for the last series. That dude's huge. He looked like he was 2 guys at left guard. He's a big dude, Mike. He's a big dude at left guard. So he was a good-looking guy sitting in there for that one series, and just take off is awesome. But and CJ Carr, a little banged up. I don't even know if that's news. They got Rezak to be the scout team quarterback, I guess, this week. So I don't know, but is that bad news for the future? Is he injury prone now, Mike? Right?
No.
Is there another quarterback injury prone on Notre Dame's roster? We're going to go through this again. So as long as it wasn't stairs related.
Can you knock on wood? Can you knock on some wood right now, Tim?
Yeah, I got a lot of wood here.
Thank you.
Throat, but yeah, did you hear me? I said as long as it's not stair related, we're good. We're good. The future's bright.
Folks, I love sitting my rear end on the couch and watching sports, but there's nothing like going to that game live. You smell the popcorn. You see that stuff that they call cheese, but you know it tastes good, but is it really cheese? What you know what I'm talking about. Going to the ball game, going to concerts, whatever the case may be, comedians. There's nothing like being there in the room, being in the stadium, which is where we're going to meet today's sponsor. It's gametime.co. Don't get it twisted with .com. It's gametime.co, a fast and easy way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, theater, and more near you with killer last-minute ticket deals.
You don't got to stress out. You just get relaxed and hyped at the same time for that fun that you're going to have at that event. Website, super easy to manage. Game Time has all sorts of cool features. One of them that I like, Game Time Picks, that makes tickets to see your favorite team, again, favorite event, whatever the case may be. It got the Chicago Symphony Orchestra this Friday, for crying out loud. It just makes this even easier by filtering out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Some of the other best aspects, you got the all-in pricing. Toggling this on shows the total up front, no surprise fees at checkout. You can also check out seat views to get that full panoramic view. So if you're wondering what will my view look like at this seat, the panoramic view will have you there. You'll also get the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code ON3. That's on3, ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code ON3 for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Woo! I felt like I just nailed that ad read, man. I'm like, my second wind's kicked in. Didn't stumble on my words at all. Just destroyed that one. Love it.
Outstanding.
Tim, we're gonna go back.
What do we got?
To ranking the teams and whatnot. We spent a while on bracketology. You wanted to talk about the AP poll that came out?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to if you don't want it. No, it was.
Well, I got it pulled up.
It was more of just incorporating this into bracketology. Actually, Mike, I just wanted you to show it so we could see the mighty Missouri Tigers and Jack Sobel's team crumble.
Why do you keep talking about Missouri?
I love Jack. I'm just busting him tonight. I'm on him. I'll send him a message. So, boy, did they take a tumble! And then I totally forgot, Mike. They had to go to mighty Vanderbilt to overtime with Vanderbilt. So Mizzou. I like this. I'm all over Jack. I apologize, Jack. But no, it's just
how is Oklahoma ranked? I thought Oklahoma was like awful. What am I missing?
Well, they lost to Tennessee. They won every other game.
Are they just one loss?
Yeah, they're Tennessee.
Oh yeah. You're right.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's freaking Michigan. How the hell is Michigan ranked? They're trying to. Come on, they're done. They're done. They're done. They can't. They're done. They're going to start that UNLV guy this week. I can't believe. I can't believe that they're ranked.
It's fun. See, I do love watching that. That's fun.
Yeah.
The downfall of Michigan. I am not minding it. Washington is okay. So Washington's not getting votes. They're 4-2, or they're probably getting votes, but they're not in the top.
Yeah, they got votes. SMU. I thought SMU would have been up there a little higher. SMU beat somebody earlier in the year as well. That's pretty good.
They beat FSU and Louisville.
Somebody else in the preseason.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, check it out. I know BYU's undefeated. No, plus I like to look at this because you got. I mean, A&M is really shooting up. So they
beat. So SMU has defeated
somebody good, I thought.
Nevada, HCU, BYU. Oh, BYU beat them.
BYU.
And then they beat TCU 66-42.
Yeah, they've been rolling since
then they beat FSU and SMU.
Brigham Young 18. Yeah, there you go, 18-15. Yeah, barn burner right there. So, no, it's just fun to look at. A&M. Obviously, as Notre Dame fans, we're going to be rooting for A&M because the rest of the schedule's gone. So go A&M. But they still have 3 road games, and the odds of them going undefeated in 3. I mean, they're not mighty road games. It's like South Carolina, Mississippi State, and some other spanky SEC team. But if they go 2-1, and they host LSU and Texas, can you imagine? I mean. They got to beat LSU, don't they? At College Station is going to be awesome. And then as we're talking playing games, it's fun. As a college football fan, there's so many playing games. Ole Miss, LSU this week, prime time on Saturday night after our show. Go watch that one on Saturday night. Obviously, Texas could knock Oklahoma off the face of the earth this week in the Red River. That's not shootout, right? That's the old Tim Hyde, right? Red River rivalry, excuse me, to use that term. But It's fun. I like the polls. It's nice to see how Notre Dame, going back to our good friend Jack Sobel, Missouri could still bounce up. Notre Dame's showing you could do it, so Mizzou could get back in there.
Void Walker says Iowa State should not be tied with us. So
Why? They're undefeated. See,
they beat North Dakota, Iowa, Arkansas State, Houston, and Baylor.
Yeah, they're undefeated. See, I'm like, once again, polls are fun to look at, and there's gonna. I mean, look who they still have to play. Look at this. It's a who's who of the Big 12. These guys have not even played each other yet. It's the Big 12 is gonna be like the Pac-12 back in the day. Where they
beat
the hell out of each other.
Here's a look at this. You got the AP poll with the records. You got Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, all undefeated. Penn State, not it, by the way, but whatever. Georgia, your first team with a loss. They're 5. You got Miami, 6-0, undefeated, but not look great. Bama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Clemson, all teams with a loss. And then it's like so many teams already have losses, Tim. Jeez, cricket.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
then, you got Iowa State.
Loss.
They're an undefeated team. There's not that many undefeated teams in the power conferences.
No.
There's not. You have,
It's BYU, Pitt still won.
Indiana.
Indiana's schedule's insane upcoming. It's just gonna be. That's why Notre Dame, man, just sit there, just win your games, do what you want. They're 11. If they win out, I know we don't want to count our chickens, as Greg was saying, but still, you like to think forward of what actually can happen. Correct?
Yeah,
and it's right there.
I like this question from Alex. We talked about this earlier in the season, but maybe now that A&M has beaten Missouri, would you rather have one loss that is a blowout at A&M? Okay, so you lose to A&M but beat NIU, or the vice versa. Tim, which one would you have it the way it is, or if Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M and beat NIU?
The way it is. I mean, seriously, I think winning at A&M was huge because NIU, Mike, as we hate to say it, South Florida, obviously in 11. We've seen Tulsa.
But from a playoff perspective, you can just kind of it's fluky.
It's a fluke, just like Alabama. Alabama's going to be like, hey, we didn't play our A game.
Yeah.
And
I'm with Brian NY now. Take the big win.
Take the win, exactly. NIU, you could
especially in this era. Yeah.
Take the win, because had they lost it, I mean, let's say A&M treated Notre Dame like they did our good friend at Missouri, and they treated them that badly, and it was 41-8. Everyone would be like, "Oh, it's typical Notre Dame. They beat NIU." No one would even know who NIU is. So them being by the way, they would not be number 11 right now. Had they gotten boat raced by A&M, they would be sitting probably at 18 still, because who the hell have they beaten since they lost to A&M in that scenario? Correct?
Yeah, maybe that'd be interesting. They
would be down. You lose to A&M, you've beaten NIU, Miami of Ohio, Purdue. Who else? Louisville, who's now gone out of the rankings already. Notre Dame would be sitting at 18, begging to get back in it.
On3 posted their midseason true freshman All-America team. I know when they do their preseason version of this, which is very difficult to do, they're like, we need O-linemen. There's tons of receivers to choose from, but On3 is like, they hit up the staff guys like me, and they're like, do you have any recommendations for O-linemen? Because there's just not many true freshman O-linemen. So if you're like at a power conference and you're starting as a true freshman O-lineman, you're probably, So Anthony Knapp, they put on the preseason one before it was even named. He was the starter. So Anthony Knapp, an On3 midseason true freshman All-American, and then Kingston Vili-Amuasa at the linebacker spot.
I love it. And then as a Notre Dame fan, you like to see the guys they've offered. You see guys who they offered on there. Jaden Jackson, Oklahoma, they had an offer. He never visited. Obviously, Stewart's a freakazoid. Simmons, they tried, but he was gone, right? The one with Sammy Brown, they got him on campus once, so that was at least a battle. KG Bolden, they offered, but they were.
Did you know that Ryan Williams is only 17 years old, Tim? Have you heard that?
Mike, who cares? He plays like he's 31. He's unbelievable. He's
Zabian Brown they offered, KG Bolden.
Yeah, I love seeing Wingo and Sammy Brown. Those were the guys with CJ Carr hanging out at the coffee shop together, right? And that famous photo there in South Bend. Yeah, I love seeing. Wow, look at that, Mike. Wide receivers play as freshmen. Who would have known, right? So and Notre Dame offered all three of these guys. Would they be learning the route tree right now in South Bend, or do you think they would get on the field had they come to Notre Dame?
I think they'd be playing.
Okay. Oh God, the inside jokes when it comes to freshmen playing at wide receiver will hopefully die one day. But other than that, Thompson, Notre Dame offered. That was one of Stands' early offer to Thompson. Good player.
Mm-hmm.
And the Stanford guy, the left tackle House, I've watched him a little bit and prepping for Stanford. Good football player. So he's really good left tackle.
Wrapping up the show, Tim.
Sure.
This guy, Bud Davis, an environmental and geophysics who does consult. I don't know. He's an analytics guy. This is on read this on Twitter. He tweeted out this 2024 play calling thing. I have literally no idea. I mean, I guess he has this this data from football_SIS on Twitter. I don't know, but he tweeted this out. This is really interesting stuff. I'm gonna go through some stuff that stands out to me. 10 personnel, less than 1% of the time.
Yes.
11 personnel, 70% of the time Notre Dame's in that. Going to passing versus running, 53% passing attempts. That's pass attempts and then sacks and scrambles. 47% on design runs. Notre Dame faces a six-man box 47% of the time. Heavy box 40%. Tim, a heavy box 4 out of 10 times. Does that seem a lot to you, or is that just me? Is that a lot? Does that seem like teams are?
I thought it was going to be higher, tell you
Really?
the truth, because no one's beating anyone outside. You know what I mean? Like we're not seeing deep shots, and these are the Louisville, the A&M games where Louisville. I hate to say the word 100%. I'll say 99. And me watching and charting that thing, Louisville was +1 every single play in the box. So if Notre Dame had 6 blockers, they're 7.
So
if they had 8, they're 9. Every single snap, Louisville was like, yeah, beat us outside if you can.
It's kind of like one of those things with like PFF. We love PFF, but it's like some of their data we disagree with. So maybe on this, maybe it actually was higher and they just got, I don't know.
No, it can't be. The 10 personnel is dead on. I got single digit, like one hand.
How many 21 personnel, Tim, less than 1%.
It's like 2 plays. I mean, literally 2 plays, and they've motioned Jeremiah Love out twice, both times out of the backfield. There's 2 in my brain I remember right off the bat. So, and then when you go down to the run game, yeah, it's pretty dead on to everything that I've been charting and things of that nature.
And then
go ahead.
Sorry, another thing that really stands out: the tight end targets. 3% of Notre Dame's quarterbacks between Angeli and Leonard, 3% are going to the tight ends. Is that real? 12 personnel, 23%. Under Reese, that's probably got to be like 40%, right? And then 3% for the tight end targets. Part of that is Mitchell Evans and his recovery and being kind of eased back into things, for lack of a better term. Surprising.
You brought this up 2 weeks ago, and I think you brought it up after the Louisville game, actually, where you asked me, am I surprised? And I said, hell yeah, I'm surprised. Like, for a team that's a short passing game, getting things, 12 yards and less, so to speak, every time, how the hell are the tight ends not utilized? It's been pretty interesting how they just haven't been highlighted, so to speak. To look at, because when they have thrown the ball to Raritan outside on some slants or to Evans, even Cooper has caught a couple. Those dudes got hands. So I'm surprised with the short passing game. They haven't been utilized more often. And then the pass. This goes back to the Notre Dame mindset, where I keep hearing over and over again, Notre Dame is this heavy run team. How are you going to get wide receivers when you run the ball all the time? They're calling more pass plays than run plays this year.
Yeah.
And the data shows that. And when I break down the film, it shows that as well. So Denbrock's calling pass plays like crazy. So they are attempting to throw the football.
Okay, so I just went to this guy's Twitter account and searched every time he's tweeted Notre Dame. Here is the Notre Dame 2023 play calling as of October 18th. So we can compare this to Jared Parker.
Yeah.
About the same, right? Yeah, about the same for pass run.
Yes.
Same with 10 personnel. About the same with 21 personnel. But 47% and 11 personnel versus Denbrock's 70%. And again, Denbrock 23% and 12 personnel.
Would you have and more motion, correct?
More motion with Denbrock. Denbrock is 63% of the time. And again, this was just Parker through like 6 games or something of last year.
Yes.
30% in motion. And then the tight end targets, was it only 7%? It's only 7% last year for Sam Hartman at that point.
Yeah, just Evans basically, which is interesting. You got the run game, much more zone this year with the inside zone compared to last year. Yeah, it's pretty. No, that's a great find. You sent me that text, and I was like, man, this lines up with so much what I see. So I think this guy does a good job.
30% between Notre Dame's rushing attack. You have 70% of the runs are going to running backs, 30% designed runs, that is. 30%, but last year is a 96-4 split. So it just kind of goes to show how much.
Oh, exactly, because Hartman, had 2 left knees trying to run, so he was never going to do. As we saw against Ohio State, he was not a guy you want to run. So drastically different, run schemes.
And then one other small trend this year, a little bit more outside runs. Pretty 50-50. Yeah, I mean 55% to 45% outside run to inside run, with Parker more inside run, 57%. So
and it's very noticeable how often they are trying to get the ball outside a lot. Price, Love, obviously they've tried some jet sweeps and all that, but it's very noticeable. Much more center guard pulls than we saw last year.
I need a telescope to read it. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Go on Mike's Twitter; he'll probably post it or whatever. No, it's a good or follow the guy. He does a good job. There's a handful of analytics guys that are fun out there to follow.
I'm gonna shoot him a follow right now too. I just did. It's good stuff. Love it. Love any kind of interesting data like this. Like he did this.
Fun. There's so
adjusted, opponent adjusted. So it's like defensive adjusted. It's like how good your defense is and your offense. And he had his CFP contenders, and Notre Dame is included in that.
Yes.
It's interesting stuff. Tim and I love it. Tim and I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. Just I'm not a math guy. I just pretend. So when I see things like this, it's always fun. I can't find the darn like strength of record. ESPN analytics is always strength of record. The top 5 teams strength of record, meaning who you played, who you're going to play. Brigham Young, number 1, Mike. Miami 2, Georgia 3, Iowa State, and then Pittsburgh. I always kind of like that. And then through all this analytic junk, ESPN throws like 15 different things into a giant pile. Notre Dame is ranked 7th in the country when it comes to their power rankings per analytics. So Texas, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss number 5. So that's pretty interesting. So it's always nice when you see that.
Folks,
please when you say he's making things up, he probably is, and idiots like us follow it and think it's cool. Twitter.
I did throw out the disclaimer. I was like, who knows where this is coming from, but it looked legit. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content here at Blue and Gold. Tim, we are going to end the show there.
I was going to say the last 12 seconds. Yeah. Bottom line, looking at a lot of these numbers, the NCAA stats, all the analytics, all these things, Notre Dame is without a doubt a playoff team. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When you crunch all these numbers and you compare all these teams. So I know people don't want to count their chickens. NIU, Marshall, South Florida, Navy 3 times in the last 15 years. We've seen it. They are a playoff team as long as they show up, handle business, kick ass, take names. and let's get to a home game, guys.
That was 18 minutes past 12 seconds. Or I'm sorry, 18 seconds past 12 seconds. So
That's my 30, Mike. That's my 30 hot take right there.
There you go. There you go. For folks in Florida, stay safe. With Hurricane Milton coming through. Yeah, you guys stay safe in the Sunshine State. That's going to do it again for this week's Notre Dame football show on YouTube. Pod Like a Champion for folks listening via podcast. We will catch you guys. Let's see. It's Tuesday. Tim and I will be live next after the game. Notre Dame versus Stanford. We didn't even really talk about Notre Dame v. Stanford, but we will do that Friday in a video that you can find. It'll be about 9-10 minutes long where Tim and I will preview that game. So make sure you lock in to this very YouTube channel, Blue and Gold. And then go to our website, blueandgold.com. We have offers all the time going for you all, including the illustrious. Is that the word? How you say that word? $1 for 2 months using the promo code UND1. Go check it out. Appreciate you all for watching. And as always, we will catch you next time.